Hey guys, Tracy, Kansas Garden Guy, Summer Pick Farms. It's kind of weird saying that now. Trying to throw that out there, remember to throw that out there since we've started the farm up a couple weeks ago. Today is harvest day for us. I've got a garden stand coming up the next 2 days out of town. We have a mutual buddy and his wife own a business in a small town just north of us, and they invited us to come on Thursday and Fridays and sell produce in front of their business, which is very awesome for me. I could get my name out there, get some people locally around here within my county to see the kind of produce that I'm producing, that I could produce for them and possibly their restaurants. And plus it gets me some practice for my first farmer's market. So follow me as I pick green beans. All right, well, it looks like I need to get picking here. But have you guys ever sat out here and talked to your plants or talked to yourself? I'm sure my neighbor, I've got an elderly couple that lives on the other side of our little 5-acre parcel, and sometimes they come out on their front porch and sit out there and drink coffee and watch me work in the garden sometimes. And sometimes we talk. I mean, you know, you kind of shout over the fence at your neighbors, and sometimes we'll talk about, you know, when he was younger and he used to do gardening and stuff like that, what they used to plant back in the day. And look at the size of these green beans, guys. Now this is what I'm talking about. I usually try to hold off to pick my green beans once a week if I can. It's hard because you see these green beans growing when you're watering them and checking them out, and you're like, man, these things look phenomenal. But I'll tell you what, I like my green beans with a little bit of size to them like this. You can definitely pick them when they're this size, and they are great and tender. But with these contender bush beans, it's the first year I'm growing contenders. I have not noticed the difference in size, the distance between taste and texture of something this small that you usually find in a grocery store and something this big. And I've tried. Trust me, we have put up probably, I don't know, I've got almost 200 green bean plants, as you guys can see, which if you guys watch my videos, you'll know. These contender bush beans will give you a pound per plant if you're lucky. I mean, look at these. Look at what I'm getting on these. And all I'm doing is just picking the biggest ones, and I'm leaving, if you guys can see, I mean, I'm leaving like stuff like this big, the smaller ones. The reasoning why is, for one, I know this sounds weird, but I'm kind of tired of picking. And for two, we've got so many. See, look at all these smaller ones on here. I don't want to pick them when they're small. I'm going to pass these plants up because this is the second coming. That first one over there, actually, well, I'm going to step in front of the camera. I just happen to see one laying here that I want. That's the first round of green beans. I've got 3 successions of green beans in this plot right now. And this is the second round here. And what I did was the ones that did not make it after about 3 weeks of the first round of either rabbits or frost, because I planted these right about when the last frost was, I went ahead and planted another succession of green beans to make sure I had more green beans coming. So we're going to move on down to this one here. I believe so. This is one part of the first, or is this part of the second? This is part of the second. To see if you look what I'm talking about here. Sorry, I'm going to move you guys around. You can see these smaller green beans like this. I don't want to pick those. And yeah, you could pick those and eat those if you wanted to. I think a lot of times people pick to pick. If you don't understand that, what I'm getting at is, see a bunch of these smaller ones here. These, and like I said, you could pick these. Like there's a good one there. See this one here? That's pretty decent size. I'll pick stuff like that. Anything smaller, I'll leave. But see, you can look in here and see a bunch of them that are that size, that are that small size. See, I want something that's got good length to it. Wife gets on me a lot. Especially when I'm doing these videos, I forget what I'm talking about. I know what I want to talk about, and then when I get behind the camera, I forget, and I get sidetracked with, ooh, look, pretty green bean, or oh, look, there's a weed there. And then I'll pick that weed, and then I'll forget what I was talking about. So what I'm gonna do, I am just going to come over here and start picking these. But that's how I justify picking these bigger beans in the garden. You know, I'll pass that one up to pick this one. You know, that one's got some size on it. Like I said, we've put up so many beans this year already. And like I said, I'm not bragging. It's just, I'm so tired of putting up green beans right now. Kind of want my tomatoes to start ripening up a little more. You know, tomatoes are one of those things too, where sometimes you look at it and you'll get a couple tomatoes every night. And then all of a sudden, a week later, you're getting like 100 tomatoes. And it's like, everybody says, well, that's a good problem to have. Well, it is a good problem to have when you got, you know, almost 200 tomato plants going. And you've been watching them, you know, for months now. And all of a sudden they start going, man, that's a lot of tomatoes. You know, everybody will tell you that, you know, I'm interested in buying tomatoes. I'm interested in buying tomatoes. And then I think you kind of tomato everybody out. I don't know even know if that's possible. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you no, that's not possible, because she is a tomato eater. Me, which I think I've talked about this before, I'm not so much. I'll eat some here, and I've learned how to eat some here and there. I've just never been. We never grew up eating a lot of tomatoes or eating a lot of cucumbers like she did. She grew up in the South. So like she says, a staple on her kitchen table every day was sliced cucumbers and tomatoes. For me, it really wasn't a whole lot. We lived in the country, you know. But like I said, here goes my rambling on again. But let me get picking. Hey guys, I started picking and started getting some of these older ones, and you could see, look at the size of some of these green beans on these bush beans. Look at that. Can you see there with the sun? Look at that. Look at the frequency we got. I mean, look at these guys. These things are giving, and giving. Look at these things. It's crazy how many's packed in there. Oh man, well, I'm almost done. I'm down to the last 2 or 3 plants on this row, and that will be all, what, 3, 4, 5 rows of beans I've got going on here. All I'm doing is just kind of going through and seeing what some of the stragglers. Sometimes I turn around and look and say, oh man, look at that bean I missed back there, and swing back by and pick it up. Man, it's just, I cannot say enough. Like I said, I've always grown pole beans, and have never had really good luck with pole beans. They've grown and all, but then Japanese beetles get to them, and just have a lot of issues with pole beans. I seem to have had in the past. You know, this is really, I mean, we've been gardening my whole life pretty much, off and on, since I was a little kid. But this is pretty much the last 3 years of this. I've been hitting it really hard. And what I mean is I've been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of talking to myself, because, it's not all about, sometimes people think it's easy. You just go out there and buy a bunch of seeds from your local weed and seed store, and you go out there and dig a couple little furrows, you throw it in there, you throw some water on it every once in a while, and boom, all of a sudden you've got a full growing on market gardening that's sitting by the roadside and selling product and blah, 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 blah. Hey, it ain't that easy, guys. I mean, you guys watching the channel know that. You know, it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of frustration. Is it hard? No, I don't think it's hard. Can anybody do it? Sure. Anybody that wants to put the time, the work ethic. You know, everybody's different. And, you know, everybody's work ethic's different. I was told once by a pretty wise man that every day is a job interview. So that's how I try to go through my life, looking at it as every day is a job interview. So how can I do my job better today? How can I make my coworkers' job better today? And how can I improve my skills on a day-to-day basis? That's how I like to look at it. And if I think if you can do that, I think you can pretty much put your heart into anything and do anything. That's what we ended up with. Yeah, out of curiosity here, this whole basket's full. I could not tell you how many pounds of green beans that is, but it took me about 35 minutes to do these 4 rows in this little section here. Like I've got them planted every 6 inches. So, whew. But anyway, I like to ramble on a lot, so you guys will find that out. I'm sure most of you that watch my videos already know that now. We got green beans done. So, I don't even want to look at cucumbers, man. I mean, I know I've got cucumbers hanging on the vine over there that are the size of small children. See that one right there? Can you see that one? I don't think you can. It's probably a little too dark in there. But I've got peppers coming on also. I want to take at least 5 pounds of habaneros tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to have it. I've got a lot of habaneros working this year. I think I've got 20 plants. But as you can see, we're still in the early stages of peppers here in Kansas. It ain't been super, super hot. I know, you know, some people have gotten a load of peppers in already. And now look at that size. Look at the size of this habanero, guys. It's the size of my index finger. That's got to be at least 3 inches, 4 inches. I like to pick them when they got a little bit of green left on them, and then I let them counter sit to kind of ripen up a little more. I hate for them to be on the vine out here and have an insect get them. Before, I wasn't too worried about it. Speaking that, you know, every once in a while you get one, it's like, oh, well, that's the way it is, you know. Well, now that I'm kind of wanting to perfect my craft a little better and wanting to make sure I can take these to market and provide these for a customer base. I've got a lot of people that like hot peppers. That's why I grow a lot. Plus, I love hot peppers. So I want to make sure I grow the best, the biggest, and the best product I can. So if that means I pick them a little bit, I know, guys, I'm here by myself today, so I've got to do this camera and do this picking all at the same time. So it's taking a little bit out of me, so excuse me for that. But I want to be real with you guys. I mean, now that I'm doing this market garden, you know, I want to be 100% transparent with you. You're going to go through the goods with me, and you're definitely going to go through the bads with me. So, I mean, that is my goal. That's the channels I like to watch. I like to watch the channels that show the good with the bad, not always the good, because farming is not always good, and it's not always bad. You can see these banana peppers. I've got to pick some of these today. I've been letting these go for a couple weeks without picking them to try to get the fruit set a little bigger. I mean, these guys are getting huge. I need to get them picked. These Bueno Mulatas, I'm going to pick a handful of those too. I'm going to pick a bunch of these mini bells and take with me. Got a bunch of, man, look at these mini bells, guys. I cannot say enough about these mini bells. Oh yeah, if you did notice in the background there, you notice how our cherry tomato row looks so much nicer today. Well, me and my wife went through here last weekend. Some of them are blushing. we went through here last weekend and we trimmed them up and cut off the ones that we did not need, and we retied everything up to the Hortonova trellis, so that way I could actually see the fruit. Those are Candylands. Look at the size of these cherry tomatoes, guys. These things are huge. These are just large red cherry tomatoes. I mean, I do, you know, organic fertilizers, and I do the drip irrigation. I'm telling you, this is a game changer, this drip irrigation in this state. Where it's hot and I could water all my vegetables while I'm mowing the grass. You know, I mean, each one of my emitters, I think I've told you this before, they are on 12-inch spacing, and they put out 0.46 gallons of water per hour. So literally what I will do, I will let this run 3-4 hours during the hottest part of the day. It doesn't matter to me if it's 100 outside or 70 outside. The plants don't care. The water is 6 to 8 inches in the ground below these roots where it's nice and cool, and I could feed them with water, the right amount of water per week. I mean, look at this. No, yeah, it's a substantial cost for a small backyard gardener. I call myself a small backyard gardener because I haven't 100% been market gardening yet. That's going to start January 1st. This is my trials and tribulation to see what I can grow, what I have issues with, and fix them now before I get into the harvest situation where I have to grow this much for a certain restaurant or a certain chef or anything like that. But I attest this to drip irrigation, organic fertilizers water-soluble fertilizers that I can inject underground through my Easy Flow, and fish emulsion. I mean, everything I do here on the farm is organic. I am not certified organic. I cannot afford to be certified organic. It's a very substantial cost. And for just to put organic on my sign, to me, it's not worth it. But I use everything as if I was growing organic. I use all organic fertilizers. I use all organic pesticides. If it's not organic, I don't spray it. I mean, I have to eat this. My family has to eat this. My friends have to eat this. And my customers have to eat this. I do not want to put anything in anybody's body that I would not put in my own body. So I choose to grow as much organically as I can. This compost is certified organic. So, I mean, I'm just trying to do what I can do. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get picking some of these habaneros. If you can see this, these habaneros, I don't know if you can see it with this shade, but man, these are the Craig's Grandes. They're starting to get some decent size on them. By no means are they huge, but they are starting to get some decent size. I'm gonna go ahead and pick 4 or 5 pounds of these to take, and then I'm gonna let the rest grow. But man, these are some decent sized habaneros, better than what you get at the store. And by all means, these aren't even ready. I mean, these aren't even half the size they're supposed to be right now. So, you know, I still have got months and months of picking this stuff. So, but each one of these plants, and I think I've got 30 in this row, each one of these plants is loaded down with probably, I don't know, 25 to 30 habaneros that are sizable, that are about this size, which I call in the 2.5 inch size. I mean, these are very good looking. These are going to make good salsas. They're a little bit small for a popper size. Like I said, I went with the Craig's Grande this year because I wanted a little bigger jalapeno to provide for poppers. I'm going to leave some of these to grow out, some of these smaller ones. I'm going to pick some of these bigger ones so I can get some more flowers on it so we can get some more going. At least that way I could take 2 or 3 pounds with me. I mean, look at this one, guys. That's a good jalapeno right there. I have not had one of these yet this year, so I do not know how hot these are. As you know, jalapenos are pretty low on the Scoville scale. I mean, look at this. It's crazy how big these things are coming along. But I think they're 8,000 to 10,000 Scoville units. which to some people is super, super, super hot. I love the hot stuff, hotter the better. So to me, jalapenos are just a taste factor for salsa. I like habaneros. Habaneros to me are a very good pepper. Now when you get to the scorpions and the ghost peppers, I mean, you've heard me say this before. I think it gets to a point where it gets a little ridiculous. A lot of these things are a fad kind of pepper. You know, it's got its place, I guess. To me, I mean, I don't grow any. I grow Thai peppers. I like stir fry, and I put a lot of Thai peppers in stir fry and stuff. I like that, but I don't get crazy into all these crazy niche peppers because I don't want to eat them. It's just too hot to enjoy myself. If I have to burn my taste buds, you've heard me say it before. If I have to burn my taste buds just to prove something, I mean, that's not proving anything. That's just proving that you're silly. That's all that's proving. You know, you're trying to be a tough guy. That's all you're proving. It ain't proving nothing. It ain't about taste when you burn your taste buds. So, I mean, you can agree with me or disagree with me, whatever you want. You know, everybody's got their own choice of you know, what kind of peppers they like. There may be somebody watching this channel that does nothing but eat scorpion peppers or ghost peppers every day. Yeah, I don't know. I know I don't. But that doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna grab a camera. Like I said, guys, these are gonna be raw videos. I'm gonna do what I do here. I'm gonna pick and talk at the same time. So, like I said, I'm just picking some of the bigger ones here. I'm leaving some of the smaller ones. Picking some that's got a little size to them. So hopefully we'll get some more blooms. The bees are just, I don't know about you guys. I've heard some stuff on a couple of my Facebook, what you want to call it, Facebook pages I follow. 2 or 3 gardening pages here in Kansas that I follow and stuff. People are talking about that they don't seem to be getting enough bees out pollinating their stuff. Man, I don't know if it's just us here or what, but man, we are loaded down with bees. I mean, I was picking green beans and I had to watch where I was picking because, I mean, there's a bee flying around me right now. I had to watch where I was picking because I was afraid I was going to get stung. We came out last night, me and my wife and, or I guess my wife and I, came out last night and we were walking through the cantaloupes just to see what's out there. I mean, I'm sure all of you gardeners do the same thing we do. You kind of, I mean, I know the cantaloupe aren't ready yet. I know the watermelon ain't ready yet. But I sure do like to walk through there every night and just take a look just in case. But anyway, we were walking through there and we were noticing how many bees were out there at 9 o'clock at night, you know. Still, sun's almost down and man, you could just, it was like an orchestra out there. You could just hear bees buzzing around all over the place on them flowers. And I don't know, it's just because them cantaloupe have so many flowers. But it was a beautiful sound. I love the sound of bees. That just means they're producing food when you hear those. Well, I think I'm gonna stop picking here. I think I've probably got 4 or 5 pounds of jalapenos in here already. Been kind of skipping over a couple plants here and there that I noticed that weren't super, super small. But I hate to not pick off of some of them because they're so big. They're starting to, I mean, I've got bamboo poles in here holding some of these down, and they're starting to bend the poles over with the weight of these peppers on here. I'll have to show you this one. Some of the, I mean, look at these. Look at this. That's good 3.5 inches on some of these peppers. And man, holy cow, look at this boy. Look at this one here. That is phenomenal. I am really, oh my Lord, look at this. I am digging the size of these jalapenos. These are crazy big. I wonder why they're small up there, but they're, oh, that's right. I got 2 kinds of jalapenos. I got Craig's Grande And I think I got a Santa Fe Grande in here also. That's the reason why. They're a different kind. So this has got to be the Santa Fe Grande, which is more of like an ancho style, jalapeno style. That's why they look different. I was like, man, those things look like a ancho pepper. Well, that's why they're a different style jalapeno. Still cool looking. Still, I'm sure they're pretty banging. All right, I've done killed this one off enough. I think I'm gonna come down here, pick another handful. I think I may just call this good for now. Yeah, I still got plants everywhere. You know, what kind of peppers do you guys grow in your garden, if you grow any at all? You know, I'd like to know. If you'd leave a comment down below, let me know what works for you in your garden or where your area is. You know, I'd like to find out where you guys are from, and maybe not to be specific or nothing, but you know maybe what town, what state you're from, if you're from out of town. It's kind of curious. I always like to hear other people's. I always like to hear what other people are growing. And it looks, geez, these things are growing good. Well, I'm gonna get some of these bells picked too. If you guys can see, these bell peppers are starting to bring it too. I don't know how many of these bananas I'm gonna pick. I've got about 10 pounds in the house, but I do know I'm gonna pick some of these baby bells. I've sold a couple pounds of these this week, and everybody seems to enjoy these little bell peppers. So I think that's gonna be a grower next year also. And I'm gonna pick some of the purple ones. But I think that's gonna conclude the video for today. We'll do a full garden tour this week. I just wanted to do kind of I'm gonna try to do one in between a garden tour of just a pick and go kind of style. Just a bunch of me just rambling on, picking vegetables for market sales and food stand sales. But anyway, guys, as always, if you like my videos, make sure you hit like, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you leave comments below, let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you guys are growing, or what you guys are having troubles with, or what you guys are killing or knocking out of the park. I think we're knocking out of the park these cherry tomatoes. I can't say enough about how big these things are. They look like baby apples. But anyway, guys, as always, take care of yourself. God bless, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.